Sprints. Hello, welcome to the Reading Sprints. Today is an interesting day because we both are between books. I kind of want to read Immaculate Conception by Lin Lin Huang because it's a buddy read. Well, it's kind of a buddy read because I haven't really been in contact with Adri. Um, but I do want to read that book, and I also really want to reread Treasure by let's do that again. Treasure by Rebecca Weatherspoon. So I think I want to do the Ling Ling Huang book. Maybe I can do like two chapters of Immaculate Conception and one chapter of
Mhm.
Treasure. We'll see because
Yeah,
I think they're quite the short chapters too, so on both books, so we
that's
will
good.
see. And Cande is
Yeah,
between.
so yes, between two books, so I'm between rereading The Spear Cuts Through Water by Simon Jimenez. I love this book when I read it last year. Time doesn't make any sense. And I got a copy of Carmen Maria Machado in the
Mhm.
Dream House today. So I think I have to go get that book, but I think I'm gonna start with that one. It's so heavy that I might not read a lot, and then I will switch back to this one because,
Okay,
yeah, I think it
yeah,
will be
that
good.
sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
I really want to read that book, the Simon Jimenez one, because you talked about it in your like highlights that we did last year
Yes. Yes. So I guess I
when
read it
we
last year. Yes.
yeah, in December. So I really want to check that one out. I feel like it's a book that I want to read with my eyes, and I don't think they have it on my app. I think it's only available as an audiobook.
Well, I would say that the audiobook is really good because
Okay.
I don't know if I talked about this last year, but it's a book like it's a story inside a story kind of thing,
Yeah.
and you they're telling one of the characters is like watching this play, and the in the play is the story that we're getting told, but in the
Okay.
middle of the story you get like they are not even side characters, they're just characters like they don't even matter. We don't even know their names, but they interrupt the story to say a comment. And in
Okay.
the book, you realize that's happening because they like um write it in a different font. So you realize that comment is coming from someone else. Um, but in the audiobook,
Mm.
you get different voices, and so it truly feels
Okay.
like you're watching a play because like I don't know, there is this moment in the very beginning of the book where this character is like looking down on this town and he is like the prince, and he is like a terrible warrior and everyone's afraid. So you hear a character saying, oh, we were so afraid, we thought we all gonna die, we were so lucky to like survive him. And it's like I, so that's their silly comments, and sometimes they add more to the story. But like, I think the audiobook really works with this book because
Yeah.
they you get different voices that, and it saves you to realize that it's coming from someone else.
Okay. Okay. That okay. I didn't know that it was in different voices. Like I didn't know that there were different voices in
I
the
don't
audiobook.
know if
Okay.
there are different narrators. I should check because I originally listened to this book, the audiobook, and then I got myself the copy. No, I think there is only one narrator, but he makes different voices. Um, so maybe it's not as exciting I made it sound, but like I did like the audiobook.
Okay.
I think it's
Okay.
good.
That's good to know. Okay. So sorry, I just opened an arc that I kind of want to read before I go on vacation. Anyway, not right now. Right now, I will read Immaculate Conception. So I'm gonna open the Pomodoro thingy.
Yeah.
and we will start. Um, Hold on. I was trying to find something that wasn't as like nighttimey. Oh, this one's nice. I like the beach. I want to go to the beach again. Not right now because it's there's a hurricane, but
Oh,
I want to go
no.
when there's not a hurricane.
Yes.
Okay, so I got the notification again of like Google Chrome has accessed your screen and system audio 551 times. Yes, I know. I know I'm being surveilled. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
reminding me. Um, okay, I'm gonna hit play and we'll go in 10. Hold on. Yeah, okay. Normal speed. Let's go. That was sorry. That was time.
Yes.
What did you do?
So I read 16 pages. Um, yeah, so very good. I did get a little bit distracted because I went to get a snack, but um, it just I really thought I was gonna just read a little bit of this and then switch back to the other book, but I forgot how good Carmen's writing is. Like, she is one of those, like, I know writing books is an art, but like
Yeah.
there are some authors that just remind you that it's an art. And Carmen writing, it's so good,
Yes.
so good. So yeah, I think I'm gonna keep reading a little bit of this book. But how about you, Paul? Did you end up listening to the audiobook?
No, I have it on digital with Storytel. Let me show
Mm-hmm.
you. Ta-da. Oh, hold on. Ta-da, Immaculate
Okay.
Conception. And I read half a chapter because I also got distracted because I also wanted a snack. Um, it's really interesting. I don't often read non romance books, adult, that are narrated like this. I'm trying to think if I have read any. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really read adult books that are not romance. Um, but yeah, I'm halfway through chapter 1, and it's really interesting. The main character is in an art school. It's like BCAD, something College of Art and Design, and there's already like an establishment of the people that attend the school, and so it's like enclave, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, enclave students and fringe students. And so enclave
Mm-hmm.
students are, my understanding of it is that they are like the nepo babies. They're like the established,
Mm-hmm.
or like people who come from established art families. And the main character is fringe in that she didn't grow up in in an artsy house, especially in this world where, like, there's something about the algorithm that I didn't quite grasp. I'm sure I'm going to get it later. If not, I can reread this chapter. Um, because it's about how the algorithm is like designed for these two types of students. So if you're a
Mm-hmm.
free student, you cannot access the algorithm of the enclave students and vice versa.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's interesting. It, per Adri's words, it is very weird, and it's like
Okay.
weird horror, sci-fi a little bit too.
Oh, okay.
So I'm interested. I am
Yeah,
interested. I wanted
sounds
to
super interesting.
see if they had like added anything, but I can't really access Instagram right now.
Oh,
Um,
it's okay.
yeah, but I will see if their post explains something. It's just that now Instagram doesn't let you see the post unless you are like directly linked to it.
That sounds annoying.
So anyway, whatever. Do you want to read for another 25?
Yeah, let's do that.
Also, so you're just starting or restarting in the dream house, right? Like you
Yes.
read it
So
before?
I have read it before. I
Okay.
think I have read it like twice already. Um, but I think I have read it a couple times. I could actually look it up, but
Yes.
always listen to the audiobook. It's really good too. I don't know if it's who narrated. Maybe it's
Yeah, I know.
it's
I
Carmen herself.
know.
That makes sense.
Okay.
So the audiobook is really good. I like it. So I have read the book before, but this time I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get myself a copy because I always want to keep rereading it. It's such a like there's so much talk
Yeah.
like it is a memoir, but it's also so much to think about that I think having a physical copy to sit down with it is probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Have you
Okay.
read it?
No, I did add it to my like my audiobook bookshelf on the app on Storytel. And I
Mm-hmm.
do really want to read it. So maybe for Latinx Heritage Month, or maybe after this month, because I do like I already have a little bit of a TBR, and so
Mm-hmm.
let's see. I also don't. I'm not super religious about my TBRs, so I might read it. But yeah, so I am going to share the screen. I don't know why this thing like stops
Oh.
sometimes. Like the clock
Mhm.
stops. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna hit play and we'll go in
Mhm.
11.
Perfect.
That was time. How did you do, Candy?
I read another 16 pages. So pretty good. I I just so for some reason I feel you have read this book before, but um so it's really interesting because it is a memoir. I don't know how much you know about it, but it's a memoir, but
Hmm.
it's told like in small like I don't want to say short stories, but like little chunks, you know what I mean? Like
Okay.
I don't even I know there is a word for that, but I don't remember right now.
Okay.
uh so in every like new chapter starts with it says like dream house as and then I don't know, like as a confession, as a dream boat, as a
Oh,
like
okay.
famous last words. And
Nice.
so it's like a really interesting way to tell because she's telling her own life story, especially, I mean, not about her entire life, but specifically about like this abusive relationship she was in. Um, but she's also talking about like the importance of like memoirs and like talking about things and remembering
Okay.
things and also how in queer spaces we don't really want to talk about abusive queer relationships because we want
Yeah.
to like pretend that we are perfect and we are good because of all the homophobia that exists in the world. We want to pretend that queer people are not abusive or cannot be abusive
Yeah.
because we want to be good people.
Yeah.
But that means that people who end up being like in abusers in abusing queer people is just it gets in this difficult position then that we are not talking about them
Yeah.
and it's bad.
Mhm.
So like I don't know, there is a lot in the book because I mean it's her story, but she's also talking about like bigger topics. And I think I figured out like I don't usually love reading memoirs, but this is the type but like I do like some of them and I think this is why. Like I like memoirs that they talk about themselves, about their own story, but they also talk about bigger topics
Yeah.
and they relate things that happen to them to things that are big in society. I do not like just reading about
Okay.
people's business because that I'm very judgmental. I'm gonna admit it. I'm very judgmental. So and when I'm reading about people's business, I'm like, you're so stupid. Um
Yeah.
but if we are talking about like bigger things, then it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I do. Tell me more. I want to know more about this.
Okay.
That's my whole ramble about the book. How about you, Paul? How did
No,
you
I
do?
get that. I finished the chapter and I started the new one, also got halfway through.
Good.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I like that it's kind of fast paced because like we get their meeting, their like the kind of way they started to get closer, and then we get a bunch of like narration about their increasing connection and how they're getting closer and closer to each other. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I also really like the writing style is very like conversational, I guess. So I am enjoying it. I really want to get into the weird fucked up part. I was trying like calculate if I could get to where Adri is. Like at this
Mm-hmm.
point, we would have to be starting part two, or like be, I guess, halfway through part two. I don't know, like chapter six
Okay.
of part two. And
Okay.
I am on chapter two, so we'll see how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
But I am enjoying it. I find it really interesting that it is through art. It's kind of reminding me in a way
Mm-hmm.
of the subtweet by Vivek Shreya, because that one is also about like a complex female friendship. Um,
Okay.
that's also about jealousy in the arts, because one of them makes music in
Mm-hmm.
Victoria's novel. One of them, sorry. Oh my god. There we go. One of them makes music, and the other one made a cover of that song that the
Mm-hmm.
friend created, or that's how they start to be friends. And so it starts this whole conversation about artistry and music creation and stuff. So I kind of feel that way about this novel so far. I mean, again, I'm only halfway through chapter 2, so it might be super different from the subtweet, but I like stories that talk about complex female friendships, and especially ones like this one where there's very clearly a competitive edge to one of them. So yeah, I'm
Mm-hmm.
excited to keep reading.
Yeah, that sounds really exciting.
Yeah, so we will see. I was also trying to find how expensive it was to get a bundle of books, because I was recently reminded of how much I used to love John Green. So
Mhm.
anyway, that's another conversation. Okay. Now, do you want to go for another 25?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, and what you said about in the dream, I'm pretty sure I had it on my TBR for forever.
I think I read it in one during Latinx Heritage Month, so I might have
Right.
talked about it before.
Oh,
Um, yeah, I'm pretty sure I read it 1 year because I have read it twice. So I think
yes,
1 year I read it for Latinx Heritage Month. So I might have already talked about it with you.
maybe. Yeah, I do remember everyone talking about it,
Oh,
because
it's just
it was a sensation, and with good reason. I've never read a Carmen Maria Machado book, other like the only access I've had to her writing was the essay I talked about a long time
mhm,
ago
yeah, I
about,
remember.
yeah, and um that was so just like incredibly introspective and just good about what
Yeah,
it's like to write a book and what it's like to write for a living. So
yeah,
obviously in the dream house is very different from that, but I have always been interested in her books. That, and I also know, I mean obviously people in general, but Kayla from Books and Lala loved her body and other parties. And
oh,
that title is so
yes.
haunting. I really, really want to read that one.
I yes. I should. I will probably try to reread that. Not right now, but after reading in the Dream House, because yeah, what you said about Carmen's writing, that's her writing. Like she, um, again, this book is about her own life story, but she talks about like she has so much knowledge about different writers and the way
Yes.
like writing works that is so interesting to read about. Like she, like yeah, I just she's so smart. Like that's what all I
Yeah,
can
no,
think about. Like
she is.
she's so smart. I want to learn everything she knows because she is such a smart person.
Same.
Um.
Same. I would love to take a class, or just like
Oh
do a
yes.
TED talk,
Yeah.
like hear her.
She, yes. Oh, if I could ever be in the same room as Carmen and just listen to her talk, I could pass away happily. Like, she's so
Yeah.
smart. She has so many important things to say and just want to know everything from her.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, agreed, agreed, agreed. I sorry. I thought
No, you're
something
right.
was gonna happen. Okay. I'm gonna share the screen,
Yeah.
and we will go.
Yes.
We will go for another 25. I love reading for 25 minutes. It's so like
Yeah.
relaxing.
Yes. Because I actually get reading done. When we try to do it longer, I realize I just get distracted and I do not read.
Yeah, same. Same. I get stressed. It's like, oh my god, so much more time to focus.
Yes.
It's weird. Okay, I'm gonna hit play. We will go in 10.
Perfect.
So that was time. How did you do?
So I got a little bit distracted. So I only read 12 pages. Um, but yeah, I got a little bit distracted. So that's not, I mean, I end up with my phone. So like, that's what I mean by distracted. But, yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I could add because that's the thing with also this type of books like a memoir, like it's not gonna give you a lot of updates. Um, but yeah, I really enjoy Carmen's writing, and this is a really good book. I think when people talk about like weird books to read, I think this is one of those that I think people should make time in the TBR
Yeah.
to read it at least once.
Okay, okay. Duly noted. I got done with chapter 3, which
Okay.
is a now chapter. I
Mm-hmm.
forgot. The first chapter was in then. The second chapter
Okay.
said nothing, which I also assumed it was then because it seemed chronologically.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then this third chapter was in now, and this fourth
Okay.
chapter is starting with a then. So
Oh,
I'm excited. I
it's
feel
really
like I
interesting.
can read part one today
Mm-hmm.
and then
Mm-hmm.
dedicate tomorrow to part two. And then I think, yeah, and then I can, oh shit. It's like for some reason I thought I had until Sunday to finish it, but I have until Friday to finish it. So
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna need another way to divide this. But I think today I can dedicate it to finish the first part,
Mm-hmm.
and then tomorrow I can reorganize it. Because tomorrow I feel like tomorrow is gonna be a little bit busy. I don't know.
Okay.
We shall see. We shall see. Um, so yeah, I'm excited to keep going. It's um it's very interesting. Like I didn't know that there was like a mental health or mental illness aspect to it.
Okay.
Yeah, so the main character's friend lost her dad during 9/11, and then her mom
Oh.
died by she died by suicide shortly after, and so she is very alone, very lonely, and also I can imagine very traumatized.
Yeah.
So um that's something that I didn't know about the book that I find really interesting. So I also feel like this is like an alternate reality where, like, as opposed to it being in the near future, like this is an alternate world where
Oh, okay.
obviously
Interesting.
9/11 happened, but the technology and stuff is very, very different. At least that's how I'm sensing it.
Okay.
I don't know how
Mm-hmm.
true that is. But yeah. So, do you want to go for another 25 or is it late?
Yeah. I
Okay,
think we can do another 25 and that will be our last one. Yeah.
perfect. Okay. So,
Hopefully this time I don't look at my phone.
it's, you know what? I feel that.
Yeah, but we make this like our sprint so we can actually read, and I spent enough time on my phone all day. So
That's a good point. That's a good point. I feel the same way sometimes too when I'm like either getting distracted or getting coffee or whatever. I'm like, sit down and read. Anyway, I'm going to share this screen and we will go for
Yes,
another 25 in 9 seconds.
perfect.
That was time. I got only through one chapter. So I
Okay.
had to make coffee. But it was a good chapter. Again, I am thoroughly intrigued by this book. How about you, Gandhi?
I read another 16 pages. So very good. Um, yeah, we are getting in the book because like it starts with kind of like setting like the relationship. Now I got to the part where she's starting to talk about the abuse. Like so far it was like the good part of the relationship. Um, but I also read this. This is what I remember the most about this book because it impacted me so much about talking. I said before talking about how she says that queerness is, we refuse, like by refusing to see that queer people can do the wrongdoing. um it's like we refuse their humanity,
Oh, okay.
because what a shocker, like queer does not equal good or pure of light or right. And that is like I think what stuck like with me the most with the
Yeah.
book. So yeah, just it's good to reread it because I always think when I think about this book, this is what I think about most. So it's good to read it again. But how about you, Paul?
I love that. I so agree with that. That's been one of my biggest gripes with media, and I don't know if books fit it because of the kind of books I read. But that's been one of my biggest criticisms of media. The fact that everybody is so like pure, and like their intentions are pure, and there's nothing selfish or egotistical. There's no like flaws in a lot of characters, or if they have flaws, they're very small, in a
Mm-hmm.
way that it makes it very easy to both root for the character and sort of um, see yourself in the character, um,
Yeah.
or to use them as a little bit of a like a blank canvas. um, and I find that annoying because it's like I was just telling you, like I grew up watching Gossip Girl and One Tree Hill, and like I watched, Chuck Bass exchange his girlfriend for his hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And spoiler alert, I guess, for a show that's like 15 years old. But they end up together. Like they fully end up getting married to each other, and we all cheered for that. And
Mm-hmm.
so now we don't have Chuck Basses anymore. We have like characters with flaws that are not consequential. I don't know what to call it. Like it's really annoying when you are watching something and you're waiting for them to do the messy thing and they just don't. And
Yeah.
no. So I like that. I like that the commentary of it is that part of being a human being is also, um it also requires a little bit of evilness from time to
Yeah.
time. Yeah, I really really love that. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I've been like thinking a lot about my, like, why I can't obsess over something the way that I used to before, and it is
Mm-hmm.
exactly because it's not as messy. Like characters are not as
Yeah.
messy. So,
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah.
sorry, my doggy is here.
Oh, yeah.
I
So
thought she wanted to
cute.
read, but then she just didn't. So I'm gonna offer her something else because then she has to be like she has to be 12 or 10 something like that hours into a fast.
Oh.
Yeah, so that she can get her little tiny teeth done. So anyway, okay. So that was it for today's reading sprints. Thank you for watching. Diana, I don't know if the translation applied. As soon as I hit the enter button about a reading sprint, I was thinking of like intervalos because we're reading for chunks of
Mhm.
time, and sprints refers to like something sportsy.
Yeah.
And the intervalos also sounds sportsy. So I don't know.
Mhm.
Because like carrera de lectura doesn't like sound
Yeah.
correct.
Very good. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. Hmm.
So anyway, that's my correction. It would be like intervalo, maybe.
I think
Um,
that makes sense.
so thank you for joining us. We hope to see you next week. After next week, we're gonna take a break and then we'll be back a week from that. So
Yes.
July 10?
Mm. Yes, I think so. You're correct. I can
Yeah,
look it up. 9, July
July
9.
9. Yeah. Okay. So thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed our little thoughts. And we will see you next week. Goodbye.
Yes. Bye.